What is good, my people? What is up? Wagwan. Where you there? What's up? My name is Winsome Duncan. I am a book confidence coach, and welcome to the Winsome Ignite Network. I am really, really happy today because this guest that we're going to have is phenomenal. And she's coming to speak to the Bed 24 Chronicles crew with an amazing story to share with you all. So, my, I want to say I am Jan. Yeah, I Jan. I'm from Barbados. All right, Black Rock and St. Michael, and my dad is from Grenada. Yes, he is indeed. And I'm saying that because there are other Caribbean islands in the world. So get your papers and pens ready because I'm sure there's going to be some real insight that you are going to get going forward with this powerhouse lady that is Louise. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, but before I do that, remember to subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube, hit that bell button for notifications if you are on Spotify, and get involved, leave a comment and share because this truly is going to be an amazing story. Alrighty, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mrs. Louise. So she is a confidence coach and the founder of Confidently You, a transformational coaching brand helping women rebuild their identity, strengthen self-worth, and step boldly into the life that God has designed for them. Known for her powerhouse blend of warmth, truth, and structure. I'm going to say that again and structure. Louise guides women from feeling stuck and overlooked to becoming disciplined, aligned, and intentionally confident. Sounds like you? Keep it locked. Through coaching programs, community spaces, and authentic storytelling, she leads a movement for women ready to stop shrinking and to start showing up with clarity and conviction. Her work goes beyond motivation, focusing on practical steps through systems and processes, identifying mindset, rewiring, and lasting transformation. So her official title is Confidence Mindset Coach, and she also is an author. So I definitely want you to go and check out her books as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the beautiful, the talented Louise Okoroji. I hope I said that right. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Vincent. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And you did. Your attempt was good on the last name, Okoroji. We got
Okoroji.
there. We got there. We
I've
got
been
there. We got
practicing for 24 hours, everybody.
That's
Okoroji.
good. That's how important I am to you. I appreciate that,
Yeah,
Sue.
and I forgot to mention you are my confidence coach. That was a very important fact. And I'm
Oh,
very encouraged by you and your sessions, which we're going to find out a little bit more from your company, Confidently You. But first of all, where are you repping? Like, what's your heritage?
very good question. So my heritage is Jamaican. Obviously, we are all from the African regions. We are all African, African,
The
100% Africa.
diaspora,
Yeah, we're from the
Africa.
African diaspora. So let's know what we're doing there as Caribbeans. Okay. I don't subscribe to oh, I'm just Caribbean. No, we are from Africa. We're from Africa. Now you need to go and do my heritage or the other DNA packages. But I'm proudly representing the big island of Jamaica.
Jamaica, Jamaica. We jamming. We
Yes.
jamming.
We are
We
jamming. We're
jamming.
always jamming when it comes to Jamaica. We are always jamming.
All right. So thank you so much for representing your island. And it is a privilege and an honor to have you here because I think that you are an absolutely talented, amazing woman. And I am glad that we have crossed paths. So let's get into it, Mrs. So what is your power value story?
Do you know what? When you sent this to me, Winston, I was actually quite, what's the word can I use? I was inspired by the question because it's a very, very thought-provoking question. It makes you think, okay, I've gone through a journey, I've been through things, I have met my purpose, and now I am walking in my purpose. But what does that look like? How can I summarize that? So it made me feel inspired to dig a bit deeper and to think, why am I here? What am I doing? So I would say that my power value story is about moving from survival to sovereignty.
Ooh.
That's where I put it. I had to really think about that, Winsome. I really had to think about that. And for me, sovereignty means having full authority and control over oneself via the power of God, because I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ. But He has given us
Mm.
the authority spiritually to overcome anything. And through His blood and authority and power, we can literally do anything we put our mind to. So my decisions and my territory doesn't have to be defined or ruled by anybody. I can now walk fully in my purpose and truth because of who I believe I am now. So that's what I would say is the introduction, would you say, to my power value story. But there's many layers to my story. And I would say for a long time, I lived in a way that you could call functional. Um, I don't know. I look successful from the outside, but I was disconnected completely from the inside. Um, and I was feeling like overworked, undervalued in the place that I was at the time, especially where my story kind of began. My story began many years before that, but that's kind of the identity moment. You know, when you get that feeling in your mind and you're like, okay, I need to pivot, but you don't know what that looks like. I need to change, but you don't know what that looks like. And for me, my signals were in my body and my spirit. My body and my spirit were not aligned. Things were just not going very, very well. And I was getting quite worried because my body was literally screaming at me, telling me various different things. And I would do things like I would mistake resilience for endurance and things like productivity for worth. Those things weren't aligned. I wasn't really making sense. I was saying, okay, I'm being productive. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm functioning, high functioning. I'm achieving majority of my goals, but I really didn't value myself at that moment in time because of the way I was treating my body. I stopped treating myself with care, respect, and yeah, the intention that I deserved. I wasn't doing what I needed to do to look after myself. Um, so one of the most pivotal moments, because there's many pivotal moments in my life, but in keeping with what I'm specifically talking about today, in 2024, actually it started in 2023, I came back from Dubai with my husband, and I just wasn't feeling very good. I wasn't feeling right in my body. I wasn't feeling right in my state, and I realized that I need to go for a blood test. I need to get it checked out because I just wasn't feeling myself. So I went for a blood test when I came back in the October of 2023, and my results came out roughly about a month and a half later, leading up to Christmas. And I got the results that I was pre-diabetic, and I was like, okay, right, what does that mean? Am I going to lose my limbs? Are they
Mm.
going to chop off my foot?
Mhm.
Are they going to tell me that I've got a shorter lifespan? Because diabetes is very, very serious. A lot of people from our community don't always take it very, very seriously. My gran used to say, oh, she got a little sugar, or just little phrases like that that kind of go around in our culture. And you know that it's serious to have high blood sugar levels, but do you actually take it as seriously as you should? And how can it really transform your life for the worst? So I really had to do a little bit of digging. I had to think about what that looks like. Why was I pre-diabetic? What was going on as to why I got myself into that state? I knew why I got myself into that state. I
Yeah.
knew why I was there, but it was about taking accountability and now actioning things to change my lifestyle. So, as I said, got the blood test results, and in January 2024, I decided to change my life. I decided to say, right, okay, Louise, this is where you're at. I specifically chose the 1st of January 2024, so I would remember the date. Um, and I was very
Have you got
strategic.
memory issues?
Do you know what it is? If you say the 24th of January, the 23rd, I'm dyslexic. So I'm not going to remember certain
Yeah,
things.
pick up the dyslexic
So,
crew.
yeah, big up the neurodivergent. So I thought to myself, Louise, pick a date that you're always going to remember. You're not going to have to draw for the notepad. You're not going to have to draw for the phone to remember the specific date that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. Stick to it and say that that's the first day of your healing. That was the first day of your transformation. And that was the first day of your true growth and development. So the January of
So
24,
January 1st, 2024
yeah,
was your
January
date.
1st, 2024 was
It's
my
funny
day.
because I actually don't say to people to do a goal on that date because come
Mm,
31st of January, when it's HMRC tax revenue day, a lot of people have
mhm.
just not gone to the gym and just not journaling and has forgotten their goals. So choose any date
Mm,
like that. But it's interesting that you really stuck to that specific time, and we're going to get deeper into your story,
mm,
so don't spill all the tea just
mm.
yet. But I do want to give a shout out to your husband, Kevin, because he brought us together.
He did
And it's just
indeed.
signs and wonders. And obviously, it was at a sad occasion. It was at Shaggy
Mm,
Dan's funeral we met.
mm,
And I remember distinctly you was very careful about taking a can of soda pop home. You was like, you're not sure about it. And there was this whole big conversation that we had. And that's how I discovered that you were on your weight loss journey. And then obviously from since then, you've even gone on to lose more weight. So what I hear you say is that your power value story
mhm.
is from survival to sovereignty. So I hear the strength in that. I hear the regalness in that, and I
Mm,
hear the royalty in that. And that's really powerful. And maybe there's more that you can do to unpack that
mm.
as we go along.
Yeah.
So we kind of have an idea of the overarching arc
Mm,
to what is, a part of your transformation. So what I want to get into is what would be your title for your film for your life?
the day survival ended and self leadership began.
That's a long title.
And it's my title.
Yeah, oh, good. Oh my goodness. And you do well to deserve that title. So this is an inside joke, people. So yeah.
Meaning, so
But
it means I'm always running joke.
repeat the title slowly, please, again. Go ahead.
Okay. The day survival ended and self leadership began.
Okay. All right. Break it down.
Break it down. Okay. So I was in a state of survival for a while. I was in a state of autopilot for a while. I was in a state of just functioning for a very, very long time, for as long as I can remember, maybe even up to 10 years. Because if I really break it down, due to some of the other things that happened to me that led me to gaining weight, a drastic amount of weight, COVID never helped. COVID put us
Our
all
friend
in survival
COVID.
mode. Our,
Our
our
friend
brain
COVID never
with
helped.
the COVID-19 never helped us at all.
Oh,
So
like a
survival.
curse word. You're not allowed to swear on the podcast, love.
COVID-19 really, really took me out of me being me because I just coasted.
You know
I
what? It's so
literally did
funny
not.
because I was looking at your pictures on Instagram
Mm,
and I
mhm.
saw that you were slimmer before.
I was. I was. I was.
I
I'm
didn't
at
know
my
that.
slimmest now, but I was slimmer before COVID. 100%. 100%. 100%. This is what COVID, but I'm not blaming COVID because it's what I put in my mouth. Yeah, I had to take responsibility and accountability for my actions. We can sit here and blame our circumstances all we like, but there comes a time that we have to say, right, what am I doing? Do I need that chocolate bar? Do I need that late night kebab? Do I need a third order of Chinese this week?
Preach.
We need to stop using our situations, circumstances, chaos, and crises to justify our poor habits, and we need to take responsibility. We have one body, just one,
Mm,
and once it expires, it expires. But we want
yeah.
it to live to until it's supposed to expire. We want to
Mm,
have the full lease of life. We don't
mm.
want to run our lease short because we're making silly decisions
It's
and
funny
then
because
make
I
it
was speaking
stupid.
to someone. Sorry, I'm just getting excited. Don't mean to speak over you, but I was speaking to someone last night, and they were kind of in victim mode, and I was like, nah, if we got to
Mm,
communicate, it's a new sort of
mm,
connection. Like we need to take ownership, and we need to reframe that. And very gently, I sort of angled round to him. Well, what was your part in it? Because for
mm,
me, with COVID-19, I've only just gotten back to the weight that
mm.
I was 2016,
Congratulations for a
after,
fantastic achievement.
yeah, losing significant 51 pounds. So,
Wow.
um, that it took a minute. I mean, we're in 2026, we're in 2026. So, it took a while. So I totally get it. But when I hear the word survival, I also hear the word thrive. So I think for anyone that's listening out there, please take account for your actions, listen to what coach is saying, because it is so important to make sure that you own your stuff, because
Yes,
that's how you transform, right? That's how
exactly.
you get up and you move forward, correct?
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. Everything I'm building now is with intention. It's all intentional. So my confidence, my boundaries, my business, my future, it's no longer reactions to pain.
Mm,
It's responses to purpose. That reaction to pain, that reaction to chaos, that reaction to survival is what I had to cut out of my life. I had to
mm.
literally exit it
And
very
also,
quickly
you've
because
got a lot of discipline as well. This is what people
mm,
forget, because where you stopped at sort of two alcoholic beverages over 2 days over Christmas, I kind of
mm.
wilded out a little bit. And I was looking at the scales and I was like, did somebody change my scale? What's going on?
And alcohol is a
Don't
silent
touch the
killer.
dial.
Oh my gosh.
And he was
Alcohol
like,
is empty
nope,
calories.
nope, it is empty calories, definitely. He was like, nope, that's it. And I was like, oh, I get a bit scared. Like Louise says, that's it. Well, that's it then. But yeah, no, I won't be doing that again. I won't be doing that again.
And you know what? It's also coming to the place of not beating yourself up, but also
Mm,
holding yourself to account so you don't do it again because you're remembering what that pain looked like. I remember when I sat in the doctor's surgery and they gave me my result. I remember that feeling and I said, I'm never going to go back there again. I don't want to get to the point where I have diabetes and now I'm trying to reverse it. Is this what we're
oh,
doing in 2026? No, we're not.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
had to really sit with myself and say, what do I want from my life? Again, am I
mm,
responding to pain or to purpose? You can
yeah.
only do one. You can't do both.
Yeah, let thy food be thy medicine. Now, you and I can
Mhm.
chat, and we've got lots of questions for you. So I think we better rock on,
Yes, yes, yes.
because I
Rock
wanna
on,
I
rock
wanna
on.
try and get as much in as possible, and things like that. So what is your favorite quote and why?
My favorite quote, this is a simple one, is a word is enough for the wise. And the reason why that's my favorite quote is I when I think about that quote, I think we shouldn't have to be told two, three, four, several times before we realize that we need to stop on this journey to our demise. We should be able to look at other people's mistakes and learn from them rather than literally forming our own mistakes and making them. I know that if somebody tells me a word of wisdom, somebody that's gone before me, whether it's a matriarch, a patriarch, somebody within my community that I know is wise, I should have the emotional intelligence and the wisdom to say, actually, that person knows what they're talking about. Why do I need to go through that level of hardship to understand the lesson? Let me understand the lesson without even having to go through it. And that will save you years and years of pain. And that's kind of where I'm at in my life. I look for wisdom, I seek wisdom. King Solomon in the Bible literally went to his knees and asked God for wisdom. He could ask God for anything. And I sought out wisdom. I asked God for wisdom because wisdom will save you years of stress and pain. And you just need one word sometimes. You don't need a sentence, you don't need a paragraph. You just need one word. And if you are in tune, if you've prepared, you will find success. What's the saying? Preparation.
Success.
Prepar- no, opportunity. Preparation plus opportunity equals success. So if
It's
you're
a formula.
preparing, the opportunity will come to you and success is imminent. So I'm in that state of mind where I'm preparing for any opportunity that is coming to me. So if somebody gives me a word and I know that it's wisdom, I don't need to make the same mistakes as somebody else. I don't need to go down that road. So that it's almost a proverb. It is a proverb. It's powerful if you really actually adapt it to your life. If you take it
Yes,
seriously,
it's a Latin proverb. A word
yeah.
is enough for the wise. So did you hear
Yeah.
that, guys? Preparation
Mm-hmm.
plus opportunity
Opportunity.
equals success. And
That's
that's
correct.
really good for my short-term memory. So thank you for the encouragement. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, you have entered into the Winsome Ignite Network. I am so glad to have you here. This is Bed 24 Chronicles podcast, and we are talking all things health. And I'm so
Mm.
happy to have Coach Louise in the building. She is confidence mindset coach, plus an author. Ooh. And she is here to share her experience around her health diagnosis and how she has transformed
Mm.
and lost 7 stones or 98 pounds, whichever American continent you're in. If you're in the UK, we'll measure it up. Is it 7 or is it 98? All right, so I'm going to show you a picture of this lovely lady. And I want you just soak it in. And for those of you that are listening online on audio, on the left, Louise is significantly bigger. It's her before picture. And even beautiful still, but just looks different, looks really different to how she looks today in her present self with some sexy high heel boots and a little like a short, I don't know, mini skirt dress, I'm not sure. And she's doing a little Vogue pose there. Absolutely looking stunning. So it's worthwhile going to YouTube and having a look at the video just to see that picture because there's two people there. There's the mindset, the old mindset, and then there's the new mindset, and that's what we're going to get into now. And I want to know how you prepared your mindset to release. We don't say lose. We want to release the weight, release the trauma, release the hurt, release the pain. How did you do it? And congratulations, you look awesome, lady. You really do.
Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Gosh, when I look at those pictures, I'm like, wow, it just reminds me. And I literally
You get
remember
emotional.
sometimes I do. Sometimes I do get emotional. Sometimes I do reflect back, especially when I'm doing my TikToks and when I'm doing the before and after and I'm showing the journey and the transition. I do get emotional because I know who I was then. I knew who I was then, and I know who I am now, and it's completely different. I view life completely different,
And I
completely
guess
different.
people treat you different as well.
People do treat me differently. Yeah, they do. Um, I don't think I was treated badly because of my weight. I think people just respect what I say more based on what I do because I've got a lived experience behind it. And I'm able to show them a physical transformation. People seeing is believing, as the world says. So when the proof is literally in the pudding and the pudding tastes good, people are going to buy what you're selling. So for me, it was a case of, okay, if I'm really my there has to be some sort of selling point. What is that? I didn't even know I was going to become a confidence coach out of this, to be honest. But honestly, my weight loss definitely helps because it's almost like a lead magnet.
So, what thoughts did you feed into your mind to say, nah, this is no longer going to be the version of me?
Mm. I would say to prepare my mindset. Oh gosh, that was a process because I had to do a lot of deep work before I even begun the journey. My journey actually did start in 2023 when I spoke to myself and I said to myself, Louise, what am I doing? And how am I going to go about this? I'm a massive planner, a project manager by day, and doing all my other hats in between. So I'm a massive planner. I love writing roadmap and having structures, systems, and processes in order for me to understand. But mindset is a very, very big thing. And my health journey became a non-negotiable after obviously I found out that I was pre-diabetic, and I stopped viewing weight loss as punishment. I would say that I stopped viewing weight loss as punishment and started seeing it as stewardship. I said to myself, I need to now, behave in the way that my future self appreciates, my future children appreciates, my family, the people that I care for. I could be the example of change and being the change that I want to see in other people, and I want to see in myself. I need to be that steward. And I focused on my identity before my outcomes, who I am, what I'm doing, why did I get to this place? I I stopped focusing on the goal. And I know that might sound a bit crazy to some people, but when you obsess and you glorify the goal, if you don't get there as quickly as you want to, you will give up. That's guaranteed. You will give up. And I just needed to just hold myself accountable daily and realize that my identity was changing. And before I get to my goal, the beauty of the journey is I'm in a transitional state. And the goal is not the ultimate prize, it's the journey, because the journey is my story and the journey is leading me to my purpose. The journey is my purpose. So that was where I found beauty, and that's how my mindset changed for the better. Because honestly, when you think to yourself, okay, how am I going to lose weight? It can feel like such a mammoth task. It can feel like it's all consuming, it's never going to happen. And I just asked myself who I needed to be on a daily basis. I broke it down and I just thought to myself, I'm not going to overwhelm myself with a massive big goal every single week. I'm just going to take small bite sized steps. I'm going to make small promises to myself. I'm going to be very intentional. Small non-negotiables. Like I'm not going to eat after 8 o'clock. I'm going to make sure that every week I'm going to cut down my food by one potato. I'm going to be
All right now. All right.
yeah, because I
How
was a
many
big
calories is
eater.
in a potato? Because it's a carb,
Oh
isn't it?
God, it depends on the size of the potato and it depends on what potato you're having because you've got your sweet potato, you've got your Irish potatoes. It just depends on the
Sweet
potato.
potato is more of a complex carb, so it should be
Right,
better than the regular. Because the
it will.
regular
It
white
will.
foods, that takes you out completely.
And it spikes your blood sugar levels as well. So that's another thing. I had to do a lot of thorough research on the spiking of my blood sugar levels and what that looked like. So I went back to the herbals. I went and spoke to a herbalist and they gave me a lot of teas, bushes, and herbs to reduce my blood sugar levels. But I had to also make sure that my diet coincided with that. Otherwise, you're just cancelling things out. I was very intentional with that and I set myself a schedule. Um, I just had weekly awareness rather than obsession. I was just aware. I was mindful of what I was doing. I would write things down. A food diary really helped me because I was in denial, sis. I was in major denial. And I just chose consistency over intensity. When you become really intense about losing weight or embarking on anything in life, you're naturally going to create burnout. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. As I said, I reduced things one potato at a time. And that was my mindset, one thing at a time, eradicating one thing at a time, not taking the whole plate away. Because when we do that, we naturally just revert to punishment. And I wasn't going to do that to myself. And I made sure I rested. That's something that I always felt guilty to do. Resting. Resting is a massive part of a weight loss journey. It helps rejuvenate the cells. It helps you see the progress and all the efforts that you put in because your body's in a relaxed state, so you're able to heal
And it
and
helps you
repair.
to lose weight as well. Because I was listening to Britt Glover's live from the United States, and he had 160 pound weight loss, like he was proper big. And he was saying a lot of the people do the gym, they do calorie deficit, but they're not getting enough sleep. So you have to have, ladies and gentlemen, a good sleep hygiene protocol, which a lot of people
Mm,
don't think about. And it's really great points that you're raising here. So mine is soft lighting. I've got
mm,
a little sort of pink light. It's, I wouldn't say strobe, it's on the ceiling, but it's very gently
mm,
moving to say, right, it's now time to tell my melanin it's about going to sleep, being nocturnal. I have lavender spray, which I spray the atmosphere, and I've got the lavender oil to roll. And if I'm particularly awake or stimulated, I've got some natural relaxants to assist with that as well, just like hops or valerian root. I think
mm.
creating a sleep hygiene routine is pivotal on the weight loss journey because you
100%.
lose weight through the air coming out of your mouth, which was something that I didn't know as well.
Yeah.
Because I thought,
Yeah.
urination, sweat,
Where,
and defecation, but
mhm,
it's through breath as well
there
that
you
you lose
go.
weight, a significant part.
I'm with
Alrighty,
you.
so let's give a shout out to
Mhm.
because time is just flying by, and we've got a few more questions left. So we will definitely try and speed up for you guys because I want you to hear all the information that Louise has to share because she is such a powerhouse, and I am in her network, Confidently You network. So let's just give a shout out, please, to the Confidently You women, and let's talk. Tell them what your TikTok is, and we are in the WhatsApp groups as well, which is really cool because it's about keeping accountability. So let's give a shout out to them.
Yeah. Okay, well, I want to big up my Confidently You sisters, my beautiful community. And I'm just so proud of the women that have decided to come together and join the movement of Confidently You. I just want to big you guys up and say, may God bless you guys, sustain you guys. I love you guys. Your engagement, your interaction, you keep me going, you keep me accountable. And I'm so happy that we're building and growing. I've got the founding members in the community and they are amazing. So big them up, always and forever.
And you've
And
got
you
your
asked me for
lives
my
on TikTok,
got
yeah,
my live on TikTok. That's every
every
Saturday at 11
Saturday,
o'clock
11 o'clock.
GMT time.
Mhm.
And my TikTok handle is Confidently You Official.
It's
Confidently You Official.
official. Beautiful, beautiful. Alrighty, so to become confident, you've had to battle low depression and anxiety. What specific, just give me three tools that you used to help you but in that battle. Because I can relate. Hey girl, hey.
Okay, free tools and resources. I would say, hmm, journaling really helped me a lot. I was able to kind of like put everything, mind dump, put everything on paper. I use my phone to journal because I've got my notes. I'm a digital girl in an analog world or digital world. It's no longer
Analog's going
analog.
back too far, man. Jeez.
But I'm a digital girl, honestly. I love it. Paper sometimes gives me anxiety. So I jot everything down, my
I
feelings,
love
my thoughts.
paper. I love writing. It's very
Ah,
rare. I know.
I suppose it's the millennial in me. I just love, I don't know, I just love, but then again, there's a couple of millennials that do still like paper and stuff. But yeah, I love journaling. I would say boundaries as well. Boundaries is very, very important. It protects my energy and my health. When I feel too overstimulated, too overworked, doing everything for everybody and some, I'm not able to concentrate on myself. I'm not able to do what I need to do. And that really takes me out of whack, and then you find yourself eating at 12 midnight for no reason, because you're feeling stressed. And forming a routine to reduce anxiety. You need to plan. You need to be very intentional with your planning. And if you don't know how to plan, there's a lot of tools and resources out there. There's not any excuse not to plan. You can literally use AI to plan your whole life. You can dump your whole life into AI, ChatGPT in particular, and you can ask ChatGPT to form a plan for you Monday to Friday. You just have to know how to print it well. Or there's actual done for you tools and resources, digital products online that you can purchase. But if you don't plan your journey of weight loss and health, it might be weight gain and health, you are not going to go anywhere. You need to know what you're eating, the times that you're eating. You need to be very regimented until it becomes a habit. Because remember, you are in a habit towards your demise. You want to go towards a habit that is going to lead you to your purpose and to a better, healthy state. So, the same way you form those habits over the years, you have to undo and unlearn through intention and planning. Systems and processes are the best way to get to your goal.
Alrighty, so just to repeat for those at home, so we need to have digital notes or paper notes, depending on which age you're in, which decade you came in. The systems in place. You need to have boundaries in your life and also boundaries around the food that you're eating. We heard Louise say a cut-off point, 8 o'clock, and can't read my writing, but I am going to remember this boundaries, and you need to. It's voice. The last point is the
The
last
last, I said boundaries, I said systems and processes, and I said
routines,
routine to
routines,
reduce anxiety. Yeah.
routines. Very important, very important. So we are coming to the end of the show, which is very sad because we could do this like 2 hours, like, and really sort of chunk this down, but Spotify won't allow that. So, tell me about your Confident the You community of women, please.
Okay, I'm going to do this quite quickly because I know we're strapped for time. So,
Thank
the Confidently You community of women are for people are for women in particular, millennial and Generation X women that are tired of being in survival mode quietly, and they're ready to go into a space where they can actually walk into their purpose. As I said, it's primarily for the millennial and Generation X women who want sustainable confidence. And I use the word sustainable confidence because there is a thing that is called unsustainable confidence. You need to know what that looks like for you, and you need to identify what makes sense. Confidence is very bespoke. Your confidence, Winsome, is completely different to my confidence, and that's what makes us beautiful and unique. And it's about identifying what that looks like. So through obviously substance, faith, and structure, we are building a community where we are targeting emotional well-being, physical health, boundaries, and creating clarity in order for you to get to your level of confidence once it's been identified. So it's a safe space rooted, as I said, in accountability, integrity, and intentional growth. And it's for the women to come together and be vulnerable and not judged. There's no pressure, no performance, just literally becoming. Women can talk about what they're doing, their goals, how they want to go about things without fear of being judged, and literally just be in a space where confidence is celebrated. So yeah, that's a little bit about confidence.
We celebrate you and we pay homage to you for the work and the way that you are paving the way, because I'm glad to be a founding member. I've
Thank
personally benefited from being in your ecosystem
you.
around feeling supported, feeling
Oh,
heard, feeling empathetic. And I know that takes a special kind of person to bring that out. And I think the word of this interview today, it said the art of confidence, but really the art of boundaries, because ladies and gents, that's what it's gonna take. You have to be like, nope, I'm not doing that. I want to do it, but I'm not doing that. It's like an alcoholic that you just don't take the first drink, and that's how serious it gets. And then boundaries, discipline follows very closely after that. How has your faith in God transformed you in your darkest hour?
That is a big question. It's a very big one.
Can take a little couple more minutes to unpack that
Yeah,
one.
this is a big question, but it's a good one. I think my faith, or I know my faith, reframes my pain into preparation for something great. Um, when my health became my wake up call, my faith gave me perspective instead of fear. And I would definitely say I learned that silence was not just the silent. I was in a space where I felt that sometimes God didn't hear me, and I realized that silence wasn't about absence, the absence of God. It was about God literally getting me into formation. That's the best way I can describe it. God was cultivating me, He was structuring me. When I felt that He wasn't there, He brought people to me to encourage me. He allowed opportunities to find me. He gave me signs or visions or dreams, and that was His presence. And my faith really anchored me, Winsome. I'm going to be honest with you. It stopped me asking why did it happen to me, and I started to think, okay, this is actually building me to help other women. Because if I didn't go through that journey, if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't be who I am today. I never, ever, ever thought once in my life that I'll be a confidence and mindset coach. What does that mean? Why would you be a confidence and mindset coach? But my faith really brought me here because it made me realize that your purpose is literally anchored in your pain. Anchored in your pain. You will not have a story to tell unless you have lived experience. And my faith literally walked me through that with structure. Going back to scripture, going back to the word, going back to who God is. That's what really transformed me. That's what really helped me. My faith, I owe everything to my faith. Everything to my faith. My healing, I owe it to my faith. Because I prayed through my workouts, I prayed through my diet plans, I prayed through it. I left it at the feet of God. I said, God, I need you. I can't do this by myself. So yeah.
And also, I think it's about trusting God
Yes.
in this process, in this time, because I remember being on a hospital bed and
Mm.
you checked in on me. Every so often you popped up and you said, how you doing? And I think we had one or two conversations, and every time that we did speak, you prayed over me. And I was really taken aback because we met last year, and I think um strangers are new friends to be had, to be found. And I felt so soothed in my soul because you are a ray of sunshine. You're so in your femininity, you are very graceful, and the work that God has given you and the mandate over your life is huge. And I'm so honored to be a part of the journey, and I can't wait to see where it's going to take you and how you're going to continue to thrive. And I thank you for showing up and being you, because I know that it takes a level of selflessness to do that.
Thank you, Winsome. I appreciate that, sis. I really
Here's your
appreciate you.
flowers.
Thank you
Let
so
me
much.
see if I can give you some hearts. There you go. Hey. So
Thank
my
you.
heart's for my baby girl. You take them hearts, girl. You take them hearts.
I'm feeling
So
beautiful.
and I'll give you some celebrations too.
Oh,
So
bless
thank
you.
you for coming on the show. Thank you for illuminating our internet space. Thank you
Oh,
for being you. Before you
thank you.
go, we have to have a healing heart song from you.
Mhm.
Now, our last guest was a coach called Mandy Patrick, and she left the healing heart song, which is called Lean on Me by Bill Withers. So that's her song to you.
Thank
So
you.
tell us your healing heart song. I love it as well. You draw me in. I saw it on WhatsApp. I love the groove better from this one. So that is just always on repeat when I just need to hop to
Yeah.
the river, hop to the river. Anyway, time. So tell me, what is your healing heart song and why for the next guest?
So, my healing heart song that I chose is a very special song to me, and it's called You've Been So Faithful, and it's by Ted and Shelley. And the reason why this song is so special to me and why I chose it as my healing heart song is because it reminds me of when life forces you to pause and reassess, grace never misses a moment. Grace never
Oh,
ever
that's
misses a moment.
powerful. Rewind and say that one more time. Let's make
Got to
sure we
remember
get it.
it. When life reminds you, when
To
life,
reset.
sorry, because it reminds you that even when life forces you to pause and reassess, grace never misses a moment. The grace of
Woo!
God is sufficient.
Do you
So
hear
God
that,
has
people? It can't miss you. The grace, it can't miss you. It's not gonna go by. It's gonna pour into
It is,
you.
it is, it is. God's grace is
You've been so powerful. Thank you for coming on Bed 24 Chronicles.
thank
Let's
you.
have your website details again. Well, your TikTok details again, and
Uh,
how people can get in touch with you because you do, like you said, the one-to-one sessions and you got the lives on the TikTok, which are powerful. So go back and watch the replays, guys. And there will be links in this post as well.
yes, yes, yes. So my TikTok again is Confidently You Official. Once you type it in, you'll see me up there. Your confidence and mindset coach. And I do one to one. If you go to the link in my bio, you will see all my offerings. I do one to one coaching. I have two ebooks as well. I also have a bespoke roadmap that I would encourage anybody to get if you need systems and structure, you don't know where you're going in terms of like you just have no idea what you're doing and you need some help, you need some support, and you want to see change and transformation, but you don't know what that looks like. Definitely book a roadmap because it will definitely help transform what you're about to do and help you get to your goal much quicker rather than doing guesswork. But yeah, all my offerings are in my bio. And then obviously I have my Confident EU community for women exclusively for now in this season. I don't know where else God is going to take me, but in this season I'm targeting women, millennial and Generation X women. So if you do send me a DM on TikTok, I can then send you the link to my free Confident EU WhatsApp community too.
Beautiful. And I heard a word, ebook. And I thought, oh my God, we didn't even touch on that. What are your
Oh,
two ebooks about? I know. Come on, Miss Author, Miss Lang.
okay.
What are they
Well,
about? Come on.
I have done two ebooks. The first ebook is named Rightly So, Confidently You, and it's literally a
Mm.
3 day step guide on how to practically build your confidence. And obviously, it doesn't take 3 days, but it gives you the tools and resources to be able to do that in the first 3 days of when you purchase my book. And then obviously, that will then lead you on to coming back and then exploring more of what you can do in terms of building your confidence. So it's a kickstart, it's a taster, it's something that is succinct to help you in your confidence journey. And then I have my Grow Up and Glow Up ebook that I proudly wrote last year, and I released that at the beginning of this
Congratulations.
year. Thank you so much. I absolutely love that book because it comes from my heart. It teaches you about the art of confidence, and it's so weird that that was the title. Teaches you about change, transformation, discipline, what confidence means, the neuroscience science perspectives of confidence and why we lose it, mindset. There's so many gems in that book, and honestly, it breaks down the pain points of a millennial and Generation X women, whether it be within financial instability, relationships, emotional problems, and health. And I've really touched on those pain points because I know that we all face those issues. And I've broken down systematically on how to go from stuck to thriving in an ebook that's not too wordy, very, very simple for our neurodivergent community members.
Amen,
Very
amen.
because I wanted to speak to you because I am also a member. And it's literally taking you from one end to the next. And if you follow it through, you will see change and transformation.
And I think that's what we need in all our lives. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Winsome Duncan. I am BBC One Extra Future Figures. This has been the Winsome Ignite Network that we have invited you into. And thank you for tuning in to Bed 24 Chronicles. This means a lot to me as I'm pivoting in a new path and a new direction around my health and well-being. And I want to speak to people who have transformed their lives and are on their journey still in the dire of circumstances. So if you would like to get in touch to be a guest on the show, you can message me at peachespublications.co.uk. Send me a message over there. I do book confidence coaching and publishing, so I'd love to hear from you. And also, we are looking for sponsors, so do come on in. And if you'd like to sponsor an episode of the show, I'd also love to hear from you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ding, 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 and make sure you never miss an episode in your life. Thank you so much for joining. Peace out.